There's a new American gangsters, cause we speak bold, give no fuck about the haters. It can take freedom from a cold dead hands, we're locked in low for the last dance. Cause there's a new American gangsters, ready to die for this man.
Consistent with my real gender.
Ready to die for this land.
Welcome to the Patriot Punkcast. I am your host, Chase Matheson, and tonight we are riding solo, so everyone make sure you give Daniel plenty of hate comments. That way the algorithms are boosted a little bit more, and be patient with me as I am running all the controls tonight by myself, but we do have quite an exciting episode. As most of you know, this is the last time that we will meet before August 1st election. And most of the elections that are going to be on the ballot are either going to be a contested primary for offices like in Chris Spencer's district, where Senator Hale is going against Chris Spencer. I personally support Chris Spencer just after seeing some of the behavior by the Hale camp. But it's going to be state level races like that. You've also got primaries for positions like Andy Ogles versus Courtney Johnston. We're going to talk about her donors a little bit tonight also. And then you're going to have your local races, which are going to be between Republicans and mainly independents, because nobody is running as a Democrat unless you're in Nashville or Memphis. Also on the agenda tonight, we are going to discuss a victory for free speech, and we're also going to discuss Tim Burchett's comment about DEI hires. The Tennessee Holler has lost their mind. I think they're talking about it more than they're talking about Russiagate. Now, because it's just me tonight, and I've never been a fan of a lecturing, I really want some participation in the comments tonight. And we are also going to talk about the potential ouster lawsuit of a local sheriff and what you can do to get involved in that lawsuit. It is a lawsuit that I think needs to go forward, and we're going to go through a lot of the details and try to warm everybody up to the idea tonight. But before we get started, we do ask that you check out patriotpunknetwork.com, and there you can find, wait a second, here we go. We ask that you check out patriotpunknetwork.com, support our work. You can click on the news tab at the top. You can read all about the election interference by the Secretary of State in Chris Spencer's election. You can also read about some of the local drama in Tullahoma. There's stories about elections. We even exposed a medical company that was, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion, using deceptive marketing practices to make light of some of the risks around vaccines. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please keep in mind that we will be cutting the feed off after the first story because we get a little spicy. While you're over at the Patriot Punk Network website, you can click on the Insiders tab. You can drop us an insider tip, completely anonymous. Now, we do have to take those with a grain of salt, so please provide documentation to back up whatever allegations you are making. If you want to help us in a different way, maybe financially, you can click on the support tab, leave a one-time donation for as little as $5, or you can set up a recurring contribution. If you are signed up for recurring contributions, you will get access to special things like bloopers, early releases on some of our more satirical stories, maybe some of our drama. We are trying to work on a few more skits and do at least one every month. But it's because of viewers like you that we are able to keep going. It takes, last week, I went on a stakeout, and it was not fruitful. It was a lot of gas, a lot of time, and a whole lot of nothing that went down. So these investigations take time. Open record request takes time. And I'll be honest, guys, everyone who's ever worked on a campaign 100% knows that it's not easy to raise money. But I promise you, politicians are having an easier time raising money than independent journalists. People are so accustomed to receiving news and information for free that they don't realize they have become the product. The only way we can do that is to support independent outlets Hopefully, the Patriot Punk Network is one that you'd like to support, but maybe you're not in a position to support with a financial contribution, or maybe you haven't witnessed any corruption. You can still help. We do ask that you just take a look at one of the new Kirby vacuums. I am an authorized distributor. We got to hit play right here. And I'd like to know when the last time you cleaned your carpet was. I want you to imagine that we took a clean white towel and placed it over the carpet just in your doorway, or maybe the entrance to your bedroom where you get a lot of traffic. For your house and your household, how long would it be before you had to pick that towel up and throw it in the washing machine? Now imagine what that towel would look like after a couple of months. And I want you to think, what is the difference between that towel and that carpet? Now that's an easy one. You cannot throw the carpet in the washing machine. But with a Kirby home care system, it's almost as easy. You see, they've been around and been made in America for 110 years, and they figured out exactly what it takes to clean your home. Utilizing a dry foam shampoo that doesn't soak your carpet, you can shampoo whenever you need to. You don't need to move the furniture outside or wait for a sunny day where you can open all the windows. Just lay the suds, wait a few minutes, and then fluff them dry. And before you say you don't have any carpet, it also does hardwoods, tile, grout, and any type of floor covering on the market. Wait a minute, it's not playing some more. There we go. And if you're in Tennessee and would like to take a look at one, we believe that you deserve to see one work in your own home before you decide to buy one. So go to patriotpunknetwork.com/Kirby. You can send us an email, kirby@patriotpunknetwork.com. We will respond, schedule an interview over the phone, and or an appointment over the phone, let you take a look at one and see if it's right for you. Now that all of the business is out of the way, let me get set up here so that we can start talking about some news. And I think the first order of business that we should discuss is going to have to be the Wilson County school board race. Let me get this brought up right here and flip it over. Oh, hold on here, guys. All right. So, Greg Homan is running for school board candidate in Zone 1. And Greg Homan is he is the Republican nominee. Like I said, during the August 1st election, you're going to be dealing with a lot of your local races where it's an independent versus a Republican. Most of the time you should pick the R, but there are select cases, and we're going to try to touch on those later on tonight, where you should vote I. But in this case, my recommendation is to vote R, unless you want teachers being able to keep secrets from your kids and you want kids being able to access dirty material in the school libraries, because the people that support those are the people that support Carrie Pfeiffer. Greg Homan, on the other hand, has recently been the butt of some, what I'm going to call some really bad false allegations. Hold on here. Got to try to zoom some different things around here so we can get you to see it. All right. So Homan for Zone 1 posted just 2 days ago. Please understand, I would never question the integrity of a teacher unless I felt it necessary in order to protect my character, referring to him, and reputation. Green Hills High School teacher, Miss Janie Johnson, shared on social media circumstances surrounding a private parent-teacher conference we had with another teacher in a nearby classroom. Miss Janie characterized the private parent-teacher meeting as being, quote, scary, and that she had to get help because things were so bad. She mentioned it being so loud that she had to report it to Mr. Dawson because she was so traumatized and concerned. Ms. Johnson fabricated this entire event, according to this post. At first, I ignored the accusation because I refused to argue over a lie. I contacted Mr. Luttrell because I wanted him to be aware that not only of the lie, but also how one of his educators was sharing personal information from a private parent-teacher conference. I was puzzled as to why Miss Johnson would be sharing this information from a parent-teacher conference on social media, and I asked Mr. Luttrell to look into this. Quick backstory is that Carrie Pfeiffer has been the incumbent school board member for, I think, 4 years now, maybe a little bit longer, but She has encouraged people, if they don't like the way she voted, to vote her out. And it's looking like that could become a reality. People have wisened up to her ways. She claims to be an independent, but is a raging liberal by all sensible interpretations of her post and of her demeanor. And Mr. Luttrell is, I believe, the director of schools, the head hot shot for the school district. So to summarize, so far, there's been some bad talk from a teacher who allegedly overheard a scary parent-teacher conference, but she posted about it on social media rather than bringing the attention possibly to Mr. Luttrell himself. Miss Janie Johnson, going back to the post here, let me see. Miss Janie Johnson is a personal friend of my opponent, Carrie Pfeiffer. Miss Janie Johnson attempted to create a false narrative of my interaction with a teacher in order to prop her friend up during an election and to attack my character. Miss Janie Johnson has donated to Carrie's campaign and even created a shirt to show that teachers support Carrie Pfeiffer. Miss Johnson made it appear as though I acted like an animal during a parent-teacher conference, and I was an adversary towards teachers. And this couldn't be further from the truth, goes on to say Mr. Homan. Below, you will see an email from Wilson County Schools Director Jeff Luttrell. Please look at the date. I received this email on June 17th, 2024. I knew Miss Johnson was spreading lies about me, but I didn't want to damage her reputation by sharing this email that refutes everything she claimed. Please read the email. And we're going to read that email here in just a second, but he goes on to list some facts. Mr. Dawson admitted to being outside the classroom that this parent-teacher meeting occurred. The classroom door where the parent-teacher meeting occurred was propped open. Mr. Dawson admitted that he heard no loud noises. If Mr. Dawson couldn't hear the alleged screaming, how could Miss Johnson hear it from a couple of classrooms away? Miss Janie Johnson donated to Carrie's campaign. She's personal friends and even created campaign shirts for her. She has no proof other than her accusations. He's never yelled at a teacher in his life. I didn't want to share this information, but Miss Johnson's reckless remembrance of that parent-teacher conference continues to be spread. My son has never had Miss Janie Johnson as a teacher. How she got her version of the details of our meeting concerns me. Miss Janie Johnson's actions are not a reflection of how great our Wilson County educators truly are. Miss Janie Johnson, whom I've never met. So long story short, with this going on here, the school board in your town is solely responsible for about 75% of the budget in most cases. It varies, but in Tullahoma, their budget is 42 million out of like 70 something. So every bit of 50%, most of your local property taxes go to fund schools. And because of that, there's a lot of incentive between building contracts and teacher raises and pension plans and insurance programs and all these different salespeople who want to benefit from their connection. You also have people, possibly in this case, like teachers, who feel that they're have a better in with the more liberal candidate. And it, just like we all know, liberals will stop at nothing to win an election. Now, I want to know what you think. Do you think that a teacher who heard hateful, scary things coming from a parent-teacher conference would take this to the internet and not to a superior? I don't know. But Mr. Homan, let's go through and read this email. Mr. Homan, Mr. Dawson was asked by the English teacher to be in the hallway during the parent-teacher conference. The door was propped open. Mr. Dawson entered to let her know she had other parents waiting. Mr. Dawson does not recall any loud talking. Then you've got some posts. I encourage you to go over to Greg Homan for Zone 1's Facebook page and read them yourself and make up your own mind regarding if you think that some of this drama was true. And if you think that it's a lie, I want you to really seriously look at some of the people that are supporting Carrie Pfeiffer in this. Raging liberals. You can also go to Voted to Mask Your Child's Facebook page. They have collected screenshots from some of these people's pages and posted them so that you can really get a feeling of who supports the other side. Now, I want to be clear that at no point does one or two supporters supporting a particular candidate condemn them, because then it would be really easy for people to create a false narrative to condemn any campaign. You just throw on a Klan outfit and say you support candidate A, and then they'd lose. And we can't let ourselves as a society get to that point. But we should look at who the candidate surrounds themselves with routinely, who they enjoy spending their time with, and who believes that, who you think that that person's going to be accountable to. And I don't think that Carrie Pfeiffer is going to be accountable to the citizens of Wilson County, the people who I think she's going to be more accountable to wokeism. But moving on to something else, we're going to go ahead and drop everybody over on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry, guys.